Hey everybody, the Amazing Spider Guy here. We're doing a double episode back-to-back recording of these Goldin auctions for my PSA Graded PMG 2017 FUSM sets. We dove into the reds on the previous episode. Now we're going to jump into the blues. Going to try and be a little less focused on relation to the movie and any speculation in that sense. And we're just going to focus on some grades. Maybe we'll get into some of the art. I don't know. We'll see how this flows. Again, both these sets listed on Goldin. They're closing tomorrow. We're less than 24 hours away. I am not going to be here to see how these things go, so I'm going to wake up Sunday and see what happens, and just hope for the best. Again, Goldin, lot number 84 on the reds and lot 29 on the blues. Links are provided below if you want to go check those out. Throw in a bid, do whatever you want to do. And let's check out some of these blues. Now, if you remember the red set, my Spider-Man MM1 came in at a 9, where Miles came in at a 7. In the blue set, sadly, we kind of reversed that, but I'm glad to have a 9 on either side. You can do the math and figure that one out, but we're going to start with Spider-Man. So MM1 came in at a 7, PSA 7. Mixed feelings about that because I was really holding out to have a solid 7 on MM1. A note, all of about 75-80% of my cards were largely uncirculated. These came straight from ComC, straight from EPAC. Very few came from eBay or other sellers. It was a very small population of cards that were handled. So, and the way these things were stored, they were all in penny sleeves and top loaders, and then boxed. They're cared for. I'd show you the shelf over here and how my stuff gets stored. It's pretty meticulous, pretty OCD. We'll do a video on how to organize your stuff and stay on top of your inventory, because it does and can get out of hand for a lot of us. And that's just part of my nature. So, interesting, and again, as mentioned in the other video, the way these cards grade, and again, I'm only using PSA, it's just my preference. BGS is good too. I've seen some slabs from HGA. They're not bad, I'll give them that. But everything here went through PSA, and I know they grade a little bit harder than everybody else. So because of that, we saw an average grade on this entire set, and I'll review that at the very end, of about 8. Seems to be the median here. So they're fragile, and out of almost 1,000, only 15 gem mint 10s. That's a wild number. Out of 1,000, only 15. And I only saw 1. Out of all my submissions of almost 200, only 1 gem mint 10. Kind of wild, and it just shows you how fragile these are. They're a premium card stock over the retro 2015 and 13. They're really thick cards. It's got a really nice feel to them. They make a really fun sound when you throw them like a frisbee and they hit the wall, which I didn't do with any of them, of course, except for maybe Morloon. That's why he graded it a 6. Anyway, 7, Spider-Man, shocker, came in at an 8. Managed to get a 9 on that Madam Web, an 8 Agent Venom, 9 for Rhino, 8 for Black Cat, 6 for Doc Ock. I guess I did throw him. Another 7 for Iron Man. So the red and the blue came in at a 7. You'll see what the green came in at later. You'll be surprised. Spider-Woman came in at an 8, another 8. She matched her red. Luke Cage, also an 8 for the blues. Black Widow, also an 8. So we do have some matching numbers, some consistency in that grading. So that was interesting to see how that lines up. Because again, my understanding is their production, they just roll out on a sheet and they all get cut. That's a sheet of 50. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is just what I have heard. I don't know how they produce cards in any way, shape, or form. I have no connections to Upper Deck or any other fabrication processes or operations. Officers, Deadpool also came in at an 8. So he did get a bump up from the red, which saw a 7. So happy with an 8. Iron Fist, 7. Carnage, 9. Matched his red. and his green. And the purple actually got an 8. So I'm actually, Carnage is probably one of the better grading cards out of the entire set, collectively, looking at across the rainbow. Sandman came in a 9, matched the red. Dagger came in at a 6. Her and Doc Ock took the same trip across the room, apparently. Cloak matched the red at a 9 for the blue. Morloon, 8, solid bump. Hulk, 7. Sorry, Hulk. Green Goblin, also a 7. Moon Knight, 9. As with Spider-Gwen. That Spider-Gwen's such a beautiful card. Killer pose, love it in purple. But the blue, I think, just works so well. Venom came in at an 8. My Venom's actually crossed 7, 8, and 9 in that order from red to green. So interesting to see the climb there. Happy I ended on the high note in greens. Lizard dropped down to an 8 from its red. Mary Jane also came in at a 9, matching a red grade. Spider-Girl matched again at 8. Actually, Spider-Girl is the only card in the entire collection that graded the same across the board. So from red through purple, came in at 8s. It's the only card to have done that. Just gets difficult to have all the same grades as you move along. There's just a lot of cards. White Tiger came in at an 8, also matching the red. Morbius, 8. Punisher, 8, bump up from the previous 7 on the red. Anti-Venom, 8, which is also a bump up from the previous red. Nick Fury matched at an 8, and I take it back. Nick Fury is the only one that graded 8s across the board, and not just across the board to gold. Ruined that one. Across the board to purple, but also to gold. So from red through gold, Nick Fury graded at an 8. So that's a pretty cool rainbow to have, whoever's going to piece that one together. Craven dropped down to a 7 from an 8. Wolverine down from his 9 to an 8. His green got bumped up, though. Silver Sable went up to a 9. Spider-Man to a 9-9. 9, not bad. Jack-o'-lantern, 8. Scarlet Spider, 9. I think we're going to see Scarlet Spider eventually. I know I said I wasn't going to go into the movies, but I'm really curious to see how, when, and if they adapt any part of the Clone Saga to the Spider-Man films. And there's so many implications with the X-Men coming into play, multiverse obviously already in. We have a lot of creativity that we can, I say we like I'm a part of the process. They listen to the fans. They watch my channel, I'm sure, all 12 of you, which I'm thankful for. Don't get me wrong. I just recognize where I stand with all of this. I think we could see a form of Scarlet Spider come in, and I'd be really, really excited to see what they did with that story. Kingpin, 8. Mysterio, 8. Electro, matched his red at a 9. His green also came in at a 9. His purple came in at an 8. Nova, bumped up, went to a 9. Vulture, 7. Silk, down to an 8. Scorpion, down to an 8. Captain America, 8. I've proven myself wrong now twice. Captain America also graded at 8s across the board. So that's 3 characters that carry the same grade all the way through to at least green, with the 2 being able to take it through to purple, and then Nick Fury for gold. Kitty Pryde, 8. Prowler, 9, bumped up. Daredevil, 8. And the Daredevil in the blue set is the alpha, for those that care. Jackal, 7. And NM50 Spider-Man Miles Morales, coming in at a 9. Really happy with that grade. The green came in at an 8. Red came in at a 7. So both MM1 and MM50 had a 7, 8, and 9 spread across those 3. So always happy to have a set of Spider-Man. Always happy to have a 9 in that set. Sadly, neither will be in my collections anymore once these reds and blues go. I'll be left with greens. Both greens, MM1 and MM50 for me, are 8s, which that's the gold standard, right? If we look at the numbers, they don't lie. 8's where you want to be. That's pretty solid. 7 and 6s, maybe not so much. Now, I'll tell you, I'll share some stats with you. Now, obviously, I have this nice cool glow of my laptop in front of me looking at my spreadsheet of all my numbers, which is how I've clearly, very clearly been able to not look at you in the camera and just look at my screen. So if we start dicing this up, and I don't know if I have the energy to pop this into the screen tonight, I want this to be a quick edit. Set averages, right? I calced set averages based on color, and then I also calced averages based on the entire set. So the set average for it to really carry any weight or mean anything to you, out of those 50 cards, the average was an 8.2 as a grade for a red, 8.1 for blue, 8.2 for green, 7.9 for purple, and 7.7 for gold. Now, mind you, there's only 3 golds that got graded, and there's only 32, 33 purples that got graded. The other sets, the other 3 were all out of 50. So those numbers are a bit more accurate to the entire sheet, how it's cut, how they're distributed. So digging into the reds, we had 1/6. The blues, we had 2. Purples, we only had 1. So there's only four cards out of 187 that were a 6. That's 2.1%. PSA 7, there's 8 of those in the red set, 8 of them in the blue set, only 5 in the green, 6 in the 7, and 1 in the gold. That's a total of 28 PSA 7s for 15%. Now, going up to PSA 8s, we had 22 cards in the red set, which is 44%. 25 of the blues, which is 50%. So 50% of the blues came out at 8. 29 of my greens, so 58% of those 50 green cards came in at an 8. And then 21 cards, or 62% of the purple set came in at 8. And the other 2 golds came in at 8. So 67% of my golds came in at an 8. Total number of 8s in the entire collection was 99. That's 52.9% of those graded cards came in at an 8. So that's where I align my averages at. PSA 9, here's where it gets fun. PSA 9, reds, 19 cards, that's 38%. 38% of my reds came back at 9. 15 blues, that drops it down to 30%. 15 greens, it's another 30% of the greens came back at 9. 6 of the purples, that's 18%. And no more golds at this point. So 55 PSA 9s out of 187 cards. That brings it to 29.4% PSA 9 grades came back on those cards. Now there's one Gem Mint 10. Where do we think that landed? If you watch some of my other videos, you already know. That's Green Silk. Green Silk came in at a PSA 10 Gem Mint. There was a time in that recording where I thought that was special. And, you know, it still is. It's still out of 15-ish cards at the time of this recording. I've since learned that there's 2 other Green Silks that gemmed. So it is a 1 of 3, and those 3 are of the 15. So something's going on with Green Silk. The blade's just hitting right. It's cutting just right. They did well with that one. So any silk collector out there, you can get a Gem Mint 10 2017 FUSM PMG green. Keep your eyes open for that. And so that equates to only 0.5%, not a lot. So out of 187 cards, those were the stats. I'll put up a screenshot, maybe in the comments or something. Can you do that? I don't know. I don't post any pictures. I don't interact on YouTube at all. So that is the collection. Those are the stats. Those are the grades. I hope it gives you some insight as to what is in this Goldin auction. Again, shout out to Goldin, Ken Goldin, for putting together the team of everybody who's been supportive throughout that process, putting together the media, advertising. I know there has been some historical complaints about how non-sports is perceived at this level and how these auctions are carried out. I've been pretty happy with it so far. I guess we're going to see just how well it works by the end of tomorrow. And these things both end tomorrow night. Really excited, really curious to see where this goes and be a part of this process. It's been a fun ride. I'm glad to have documented it. I'm glad to have done it. Wouldn't change any of it. Keep doing what you're doing. Be a part of these collections. Be a part of these sets, and just enjoy it. I think it's an easy thing to say when I guess you're selling your stuff, but I'm still keeping the greens. I'm still keeping my bronze. I'm still keeping my pattern. I'm still keeping my base set. I've still got my Spider-Woman PC character. I've decided to jump on that bandwagon. I've never been a PC character collector before. I've always been sets, but I've kind of carved that part out on account of the PMG Rainbow through to gold that I achieved on the Spider-Woman card MM9. We'll unveil that at a later date, I think. So I think that about wraps it up. Yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Check out the auctions, links provided below as usual. And you guys all have a good night, have a good weekend, and we'll see you later.